Today we're looking at the United States' first confirmed human case of the flesh-eating New World screwworm. The Department of Health and Human Services says the patient is a Maryland resident who had recently traveled to El Salvador, where the infection is thought to have occurred. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention verified the diagnosis on August 4, 2025, after reviewing images of the larvae, and the news was made public a few weeks later. So what is a screwworm? Scientifically known as Cochleomia hominivorax, the screwworm is the maggot of a parasitic fly. While most maggots consume dead tissue, these larvae feed on living flesh. A female fly can deposit hundreds of eggs in any open wound, anything from a surgical incision to a tick bite. Within a day, the eggs hatch and the larvae begin twisting deeper into muscle like a miniature corkscrew. After roughly a week of feeding, they drop to the ground, pupate, and emerge as adult flies. The entire life cycle can be completed in about 20 days. For humans, an infestation is excruciating. Wounds fail to heal, emit a foul odor, and visibly writhe with maggots. Victims often feel movement under the skin, and secondary bacterial infections can cause fever and chills. Survival rates are high if treated promptly, but treatment is anything but pleasant. Every larva must be removed, sometimes surgically, before the wound can be disinfected. Health officials stress that the general public's risk is very low. This case is travel-related and isolated. The larger worry is livestock. Untreated screwworm infestations can kill cattle, sheep, deer, virtually any warm-blooded animal. One estimate puts potential losses to the Texas cattle industry alone at nearly $2 billion if the parasite reestablishes itself. The United States actually eradicated the screwworm in the 1960s using the sterile insect technique. Billions of laboratory-reared male flies were sterilized and released to mate with wild females. Because the resulting eggs never hatched, populations crashed. That program became a model for pest control worldwide. In recent years, however, screwworm has been creeping north from Central America through Mexico, prompting fresh vigilance. The Department of Agriculture now has a 5-part response plan. At its core is a new round of sterile fly releases, intended to create a protective barrier across southern Texas and northern Mexico. Billions of sterile flies will be bred for this purpose, and new production facilities are planned in Texas. For now, the only plant capable of producing them is in Panama. Additional measures include border inspections, mounted patrols to examine livestock, strategic trapping, and a temporary halt on some animal imports from Mexico. The goal is simple: prevent even a handful of fertile screwworm flies from gaining a foothold. To recap, the first U.S. human case of New World screwworm is alarming but isolated. For the average American, the risk remains minimal. For ranchers and wildlife managers, vigilance is essential because a widespread outbreak could carry staggering economic and animal welfare costs. Agencies are responding aggressively, hoping history repeats itself and the screwworm remains no more than an unwelcome traveler that never settles in.